You don't have to be highly educated. You don't have to be highly qualified. You can just ask God what he wants.
Good morning and welcome back to the Chinook podcast. This is Brad Donovan, and I'm here with Pastor Nathan Zeckfeld. Jamie Souls is out of the shop at the moment. He is having a party because it's his wedding anniversary, so he's not here.
Good for him.
Yes. And we have ourselves a special guest today, Mr. Warren. Say hello.
Hello, hello.
And we'll be talking to Warren about all sorts of good and wonderful things. But first, book reviews.
Yes.
Book reviews. Nathan, what do you have?
So I've been reading through the Chronicles of Narnia with my children.
Oh, awesome.
And I just finished reading The Voyage of the Dawn Treader and started The Silver Chair. The Voyage of the Dawn Treader is... So I remember Chronicles of Narnia, especially for The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. But I really enjoyed reading The Voyage of the Dawn Treader. And there was a lot in there about the wise king. Prince Caspian is the wise king, and his reign leads to flourishing and adventure, and then they all go and adventure across the world. And there's a really good story about Eustace falling in love with gold and getting dragoned and then undragoned.
That's a great story.
The whole undragoning scene is a great metaphor for repentance. And and then at the very end, when Prince Caspian, he wants to go over the edge of the world with the Pevensies and with Reepicheep. That's right. And he's just broken up by the fact that he can't go over the edge of the world. But he all of a sudden remembers that that guy on that island, he has a beautiful daughter. And he is reminded that he can turn around and go back and find this beautiful woman.
And he's got a future.
So he turns around and he goes back, and he also has to rule the land as well. So duty and love call him back, even though he wanted to do the
duty and love,
youthful adventure things.
That's amazing. So I got a question for you. So you kids, are they boys, girls? What do you got?
6-year-old girl, 3-year-old boy, and a 2-year-old boy.
Okay. So how did they feel about The Horse and His Boy?
I have not read that one to them yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mate, I found that boys love The Horse and His Boy.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Girls just do not care for that book at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. I'll watch out for that.
So my wife and my sister and a couple of the people I've spoken with, they're like, "Oh, what a stupid book." I thought it was the best book of the series.
Same.
Same. It was awesome.
That is the book. That and The Silver Chair are two of my favorites.
Yeah. I'm just reading through them all again before I'm going to say which one's my favorite.
Yeah. Okay. So there you go.
Yeah.
All right, Warren, what do you have?
I have. So the last book that I read was Your Next 5 Moves by Patrick Bet-David.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's all about business, and do you guys know who Patrick Bet-David is?
No, I have not heard that.
Okay,
I may have heard that name.
Yeah, so Patrick Bet-David grew up in Iran and then became a refugee during the revolution, then moved into, as a refugee, his family moved into Europe, and then eventually came to the States, fell in love with the country, served in the military, and started up his own business, and now he is a very influential, he sold his business for a lot of money. He's become a podcaster and does a lot of business consulting and stuff, and so...
Is that the guy with the great hair?
Great hair and a kind of funny accent, but really relatable.
And he's always wearing sharp suits.
That's the one. That's the one. Yeah.
Okay.
So he's built himself like a business empire.
Okay.
And he's a believer. And,
yes.
Okay. And so he's got a team of like 3 other guys that do the podcast with him, and they talk about their specialties and everything. And so I thoroughly enjoy that man's experience and the way he talks about life. So his last book was called Your Next 5 Moves, and it's all about business and strategy. And he actually compares business to chess a lot. A lot of chess references.
I love chess.
Yep. And also some mafia references, which was hilarious. It was the whole concept being, besides the illegal stuff, the way that they handle their work and their empire is something that we can learn. And so,
So they're strong on networks.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And connections and all that kind of fun stuff.
I read Neil Ferguson's The Tower and the Square. It's his book about networks.
Okay.
He starts off with Facebook. He's like, is this social networking thing a new thing or not? And then he goes straight back to Venetian banking.
Wow. Okay.
And then works forward.
Okay.
talking about how to leverage networks, and mafia that's right up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not a businessman, but I've been thinking about doing more reading in business. So that could be a good book suggestion for me to read.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
I'll look it up.
Nathan, I would say it's almost like a level 2 though, because he talks about how to create a very welcoming package for your top performers
Okay.
and things of the sort. So I mean, there's lessons in there for all stuff.
Yeah.
But probably wouldn't be your first read as a business book, but it was thoroughly enjoyable.
Yeah.
And,
I'll start with David Bahnsen, then move to Patrick David.
I don't know who that is.
Oh.
David Bahnsen is a Christian businessman, author down in the States. He's more of an economist, I guess.
He owns what's that investing firm? He's one of the top private equity firms in the U.S.
Oh, okay.
His
I'll write
father,
that down.
David Bahnsen. His father was one of the finest theologians and philosophers of the 20th century.
Yeah.
Greg Bahnsen. And David got into banking. He was.
Some people might disagree with you on that, but
Oh, no.
I would.
Oh, no, there's no disagreeing.
I would definitely lean in that direction.
There's no disagreeing, especially on philosophy. His father was one of the best. But David,
Yeah, he debated a lot of atheists.
he did.
Yeah.
But yeah, listening to his father's lectures was very formative for me.
Okay. Very good.
But the son, when you remember in 2008 the financial crash,
Yes,
you
I
remember that very
I
well.
remember that well. Yeah.
That was the day that I discovered I didn't know anything about money.
A lot of people found that out that day.
Yeah,
Sad.
you know about emotional purchasing of houses.
yes, very
terrible.
familiar,
Yeah, don't do that. Yeah, I know a guy. He stares at me in the mirror.
I see him every day.
Yes, I see him every day. I did
Brush
that
my
once.
teeth twice a day. Yeah.
Yeah, terrible. But he was at
I was
Lehman
16
Brothers.
in 2008, so it didn't affect me.
Yeah, well, it did.
Can we
It
cut this
did.
mic off?
So, but I believe that Bahnsen was at Lehman Brothers.
Okay.
When it
He was
happened.
in the middle of it.
Yeah. Oh, is your
I'll get there, man.
okay? But he his letters to his investors are deeply philosophical and Christian, as well as being financially interesting.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'm gonna have to look this fellow up. for
Check
sure.
this guy out. He's written some books that are worth reading as well.
Okay. Very good.
So this podcast is now about business.
Just about.
We'll get there
Now
again.
switch there.
we will get there. Okay, so my book review is Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. This is part of the Arthurian legend cycle in English literature. We're not entirely sure who wrote it, but this is an old English poem. And the basic idea is that King Arthur and his knights are sitting around, and this dude, this Green Knight, rides his horse right into their banquet in the middle of their Christmas feast. And then he challenges anybody with his green axe. He says, you can lay any blow on me with this axe that you want, but in 12 months' time, I get to return the blow. So Sir Gawain steps up. He says, I'll do that. He takes the axe. He chops off the knight's head. The knight picks up his head, says, I'll see you next year, and then rides off.
Well, okay.
And then disappears.
Okay.
So he's not like there's something mystical, fantastical.
Yeah, fantastical.
about him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it picks up with Sir Gawain. The whole year's gone by, and now he's got to go out there and find this Green Knight and let him return the blow. And the whole thing then becomes a test of Sir Gawain's virtue.
Yeah.
And it's fantastic poetry.
It's all British mythology and chivalry. And
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, my wife wanted me to review this book in the voice of what's his name? What's that? The old guy? That
Sean Connery.
No, not Connery. The guy that just wrote that book on Arthur. What's his name? Malcolm Gite.
Oh, okay.
You know, a nice gravel, but I can't quite do a gravelly English accent, so I won't. But
And you don't have the beautiful white beard.
I don't have the beautiful white beard. It's
You're a ginger. That might change.
It might. It will.
It might
Yeah.
change, yeah.
I just have to get out of the oil patch long enough to grow a beard. But this description of spring, I'll just read a couple lines. In shining showers, the rain sheds warmth and falls upon the fair plain where flowers appear. The grassy lawns and groves alike are garbed in green. Birds prepare to build and brightly sing. The solace of ensuing summer that soothes hill and dell. By hedgerows rank and rich, the blossoms bloom and swell, and sounds of sweetest pitch from lovely woodlands well. Isn't that marvelous?
Beautiful.
It's great.
It is. So, Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, 10 out of 10. Definitely do it again. The financial crash in 2008, 0 out of 10. Do not do that again.
Yeah, but will happen again.
It will.
There's always financial crashes.
Yeah, the great thing about people and money is people will always do with money what people always do with money.
You can always rely on them to do something dumb.
Yes. Well, the South Sea bubble happened.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
1929 happened. All right.
Yeah.
So we've digressed from. Well, no, we haven't digressed. Let's begin.
Yeah, let's start.
Warren, would you mind giving our listeners a brief overview of yourself? Who are you?
Hello, listeners. My name is Warren Travasso. I'm a simple fella that is part of some amazing things nowadays, which is just wonderful. So I've been in Grand Prairie for about 15 years. I'm married. We got 5 kids. We've got 2 grandkids and 1 on the way. We live at a small farm outside town, so we've got horses and cows and cats and dogs and all that.
That's
kind of
fun.
stuff. And it was interesting, Nathan, when you said come up with the book recommendation, I kind of realized how long it had been since I'd read a book. I spend most of my time reading just either case law or tax code or real boring stuff that I find the stuff interesting, but your listeners probably would just roll their eyeballs. Yeah, exactly.
Some of them might like it.
There you go.
I discovered that I needed to at least learn how to read a law.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because you might not care about that law, but that law cares about you.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So what kind of intrigues you or piques your interest about tax code?
Generally, it's the problem at hand. I find myself in situations where I need to learn a lot to be able to add any value to the whichever table I'm sitting at, and so that just requires a lot of reading. So even with the police commission, the onboarding was several months of not just reading, but understanding the Police Act. What is an MPSA? What is a municipal partnership? And what is a PPSA? And all these different things, and jurisdiction, and who has authority to do what, and all that stuff. And so that's the kind of stuff that I read.
So in order to get competent and to excel at your work, then just sometimes reading what some people might think is super dry and dusty stuff is really, really important.
Very important. Absolutely. Yeah. And, I guess that's what I enjoy. I enjoy learning new things, and that's been my latest avenue of learning. Yeah.
Okay.
So how did you mentioned the police commission. How did we get to the police commission? What was the journey here?
Boy, that was...
How far back do you want to go?
Yeah.
We got time.
Oh, we got time. Okay. Well, so I've known Nolan Dick for quite a while.
Okay.
Prior to him being a very important fella. So when Tracy stepped down, I reached out to Nolan and said, hey, you should consider throwing your hat in this ring here. I think you'd be good at it. And, I thought it was, kind of profound that I had this thought. God really led me into this. Apparently, I was one of 85 people that called.
That's good.
So I'm like, okay, not that special. Yeah. So he asked if I'd help him with this campaign. And so we did. And then eventually, Derek Casey stepped down as the head of the UCP writing. And there was a spot there. So I attended a meeting and found out that I actually knew a lot of the people in the room. So I stepped into that role, helped with the campaign. And shortly after the campaign, I was at an event, just hanging out with some friends, and the friends that I'd come to know through campaigning for Nolan. And the topic of the Grand Prairie Police Service versus the RCMP came up, and we discussed that for a bit. And for a short while, I lived in Abbotsford, and we had a Abbotsford Police and an RCMP there. So I actually had a lot of friends with both those badges, and so I spoke with some knowledge about that whole thing. And somebody at that event put my name up to become a police commissioner.
Okay.
Dirty scoundrels.
Yeah.
So you didn't even ask for it?
No, I did not even ask for it. Didn't know it was coming. And so several weeks later, Nolan calls me and says, hey, by the way, someone's put your name up for this. Have you thought about it? Like, where are you at? And I'm like, well, I'll think about it now. And I think there were 4 or 5 people that they were considering at the time. And so he put me in touch. He got me in touch with the person from the government that was doing the vetting. And so had a few chats with that person. They gave me some information, and they pay a whopping $150 for every 4 hours you work.
Oh, wow.
That's like not big.
For the money.
Yeah.
For the money, really.
So just so everybody knows, not every civil service or public service job is like, bank.
Yeah.
A lot of it's volunteer work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of fat stacks of cash flying around.
Yeah, exactly. So, so that was a process. And then I went through, 7 months of very invasive, very intrusive questions. I mean, they wanted to know all my social media handles. I mean, it was everything short of giving a blood sample, really.
Yep.
And, and so we've changed some of that now. As a commission, we're just asking for a middle level security check versus a high level, which is what I went through. But part of it as well was I was appointed by the government of Alberta to be part of the thing.
So you're kind of the provincial government
I am
representative.
the provincial government appointee.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's two of us. There's Everett McDonald,
Yeah.
who I'm sure you would know.
I've met him, yeah.
Everett used to be our MLA, and myself.
Okay. First time I ever met him, I went to a CA meeting.
Okay, yeah.
Because a friend of mine, I was belly aching about politics, as a young man does in his 20s. And a friend of mine says, well, why don't you just show up to a CA meeting? And I said, what's that?
Yeah.
And he said, whoa, that's where you show up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh. He said, yeah, just show up. Don't say anything because you're kind of retarded and just
listen.
Listen. I was like, okay, I can do that.
Sometimes 20-year-olds need to stop complaining and then just show up and sit and listen.
Just show up and sit. And that's exactly what my friend told me. And you both know my friend who told me this. And we were at his place on Wednesday.
Okay. Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, I can do that. So I sat down and Everett looks at me and he's like, who are you? And I'm like, I'm Brad. I'm just here to watch.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't say anything else for the rest of the day.
Yeah. So Everett's got a rich history in politics as well. I mean, he's... And I found out he's actually my neighbor. He lives about 2 rows down from me.
Nice.
Okay. No idea. But so he was a reeve at one point for the county, and then kind of made his way up there. And now, beautiful circle. His daughter is the current reeve.
Okay.
After
That's his daughter.
years. That's his daughter. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and she's awesome too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool when you see that kind of thing extending generationally.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Well, and there's a spiritual side to it as well in regards to anointing and all that stuff. I mean, as long as the kids don't mess it up.
Yeah. You can always do that.
You certainly can. And,
Yeah.
and,
It is possible.
And I've messed up many things in my life. But yeah, so that's how it happened. It was just sequentially getting into certain spots, and then people saying, "Hey, you should consider this." And then once I got on there, then the learning begins, and then you got to jump in. So you show up for a meeting, and I had to get on the board. So that first meeting, it was. As soon as I said, "Can I get a vote to go into close?" my hands shot up. Like, I got to get on the board, man. I'm adding no value here. Gotta have my name show up somewhere.
Yeah.
So you just learn for the first couple of meetings, and you just gotta just observe and learn the dynamic, and you understand. You get a feel for what's happening, and in short order. And so the way it works here is, any jurisdiction that has an RCMP detachment, there is a police committee that oversees the RCMP, and any a jurisdiction that has its own police, municipal police, has a commission.
Okay.
So when the city of Grand Prairie decided to make a commission, it was around the time that the federal government had created these committees. And so they just said, well, why don't you guys do both? So we are committee members and commissioners as well.
So do you, wearing those two hats, do you wear those two hats in like sequential meetings or in the same meeting?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have one meeting, close it out, and then.
Absolutely.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, so our first meeting is generally with the RCMP.
Yeah.
And then that's about an hour and a half to 2 hours. Get a short break, have some peanuts, and then jump right into commission.
Okay. So the RCMP and the city police then meet together on a frequent basis just to communicate and
so right now there are 4 watches, 4 teams that rotate through. The Grand Prairie Police Service has I would say most of the people that are on foot right now are GPPS officers under the oversight of the RCMP.
Okay. Oh. And then where do peace officers fit into all of that?
So peace officers are also well, and it's interesting with the I'm going to call it GPPS, Grand Prairie Police Service.
Yeah.
So under the GPPS model, we've got tiered policing, and so it's very cool. So our police chief, so Dwayne Lacusta, our police chief, he used to be the head of Alert.
Oh, okay.
And so alert is the provincial government's equivalent of the DEA kind of thing, right? So, So anything that's cross-border and stuff. And so he's got a tremendous amount of experience that he's bringing now to this table.
Yeah, that's good.
Which is phenomenal. So, and so we've gotten to a point where if somebody's having a mental breakdown, we don't send the dude with a gun. We send a peace officer with a mental health
Oh, okay.
a practitioner.
That's a good division of resource.
Oh, it's fantastic, right? So we're creating this tiered policing model. So you send the right resources at the right for the right type of situation. So
because that's interesting. I last Saturday, my wife and I were driving downtown, and as we're going past the Cooperators building, we saw a guy collapse.
Yeah.
So we whipped around to see, and he was still alive, but he had overdosed.
Yeah.
So I called the cops, and a couple of RCMP showed up, but a GPPS guy also was right there, probably 2-3 minutes. Yeah, and then the one officer walked over to the guy, and I probably knew him, said something to him, and this guy was unconscious, lying down, and then he was vertical, standing up like that.
Yeah.
I was like, what? But it was interesting because the first question they asked me is, does he have a weapon? I said, well, the way he's lying on the ground, I can't tell you.
Yeah.
So that's probably why they brought the RCMP guys.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, and for a while there, I'm not sure how it is right now, but most paramedics would not attend a patient unless there was a police officer there as well.
Right.
So again, not sure how that is over here yet. Right.
I kind of understand that especially with the drug problem.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what you're getting into.
Yeah.
Okay. Huh. So with the so now there's kind of a division of responsibility, obviously, between the GPPS and peace officer. What is the what would their mandate difference be, if there is one?
I think they're all serving the same vision, the same goal. So it is it's what level of training, and what type of scenarios are they going to be called to? So if there's an active shooter, we're not going to call a peace officer.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's tiered training for tiered levels of
because peace officers deal more with traffic infractions and stuff like that, right?
Yeah. And then warrants and things. Again, depends on the type of warrant.
Right.
So.
Yeah. If it's you failed to pay your child support, but you're not a violent threat,
absolutely,
we'll send a peace officer.
Yeah. That kind of stuff.
Yeah. But if you're that crazy guy.
There you go. You get to see all the toys.
Yeah, you're going to get the full bird treatment. Yeah, this is full value.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So, I found I was at that town hall where the premier came up a year ago.
Okay,
I think it was last year, and it was a good town hall. I really appreciated that. I enjoy listening to politicians who answer questions.
Yes, she's good at that.
Yeah, she's incredible. She's a great communicator.
I
think her time on radio, really helped her.
Yeah,
sharpened that skill.
Yeah, because we've all seen it where somebody asks a politician a question, and you're like, I'm pretty sure they didn't answer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
they talked for 4 minutes though.
It was marvelous. I've never heard. I've never heard so much say so little.
I just watched Danielle Smith sit there, and she's grabbing ideas from all different areas of politics, and she's she doesn't have anything in front of her. There's nobody texting.
Very eloquent and very knowledgeable and very connected to everything that's going on.
Yeah.
Very impressive.
Yeah, definitely competent.
Yes.
So somebody asked her about the GPPS thing, and this was just as things were starting to roll out.
Yeah.
About a year and a half ago, and she pointed out something. She said that with the current RCMP contract, we can get for the same cost twice as many officers. I was shocked by that number. What were we paying for beforehand? The officers, they're good, right? But we've never had enough. And then it sounds to me like previously we were paying for, a lot of admin stuff maybe.
Well, I can't get too deep into that.
Right, but how does that work?
So what can I say? So I would say that, the people in uniform, RCMP or GPPS, are kind of the same.
Yeah.
They're just boys and girls and moms and dads that just kind of get dressed and go and save the world every day. So that's pretty cool. I think what we're gaining with the GPPS is a little bit more local accountability.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if you have a question or we're not happy or whatever, we can just call the chief and hey, chief, what's going on with this, that, the other, and what have you. The RCMP has a very a very old, very mature reporting style and reporting tree. And so,
Right.
slightly different.
Things have to go up a chain, whereas here it's a lot shorter.
It certainly can be a lot shorter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I appreciate that because, I mean, the problems that we have here are not the problems that they're going to have in Richmond or in
Correct. Yeah.
Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
I mean, in Saskatchewan, those boys, they just forgot to turn at the end of the road. I mean, it's just...
Yeah. Well, the good thing is, because Chief has so much experience with alert and he's so highly respected, everybody answers his call. So if there's a scenario that requires a different jurisdiction to step in or assist in anything, then he can just call Edmonton or Lethbridge, and they're like, yes, tell us what you need. And that really helped us with our training as well. We hit a scenario where, some of our field training officers, there was a scheduling change and that complicated things, and we just called other jurisdictions, and they were just so happy to assist. It was phenomenal. Just a great camaraderie between colleagues.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So which cities in Alberta have police forces then? Edmonton, Calgary, Grand Prairie?
Several. Medicine Hat, Lethbridge, the Satina Nation, just among a few. Yeah.
Okay. And any city police force can call in another city police force to help out if they need extra hands on deck.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
excellent.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
It depends on what. So, for example, part of the challenge, and so one of the things that we're gaining is we're going to have our own, I forget the actual term right now, but it's the equivalent of a SWAT team.
Okay.
Yeah, so in the RCB calls it an ERT, an emergency response team, right? And the ERTs are trained across the board for air, land, and sea. But if there were a scenario that we required an ERT, the RCB would send their crew from Edmonton up.
Okay, yeah.
We're going to have some of that talent here.
Okay, that's
okay,
nice.
good.
So much quicker response.
Much quicker response, exactly.
So if we have a bank robbery and Buddy grabs $5,000, we're not waiting 3 hours for
3 hours and 11 people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
that's
excellent.
That's the team that comes up. That would come up if you call them.
Yeah, that's something I've often thought about because the alert guys, they're in Edmonton, and that's a 5-hour drive. It's maybe
The ERT?
from Edmonton to here.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you fly, you can cut a couple hours off. But now you've got to stage all your people to that plane,
Correct.
and then to our airport.
Yeah.
And then from the airport to wherever they need to go.
Got it. Yeah.
So I mean, there's all these frictions in the act.
Yeah, and the good thing is, if Fairview has an incident, we've got our crew much closer now.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we're going to become a bit of a hub.
Nice.
For training and for resources.
That's excellent.
So it's really good. Very exciting.
Yeah.
Well, and Grand Prairie needs to play that role, I think, in the peace server country.
Yes,
we
it does play that role.
Yeah, and it already does.
Yeah, in a lot of ways.
Like our hospital, for example, is a good example of a regional resource.
Yeah, we are the godparent.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is the frontier.
We're the big daddy.
We're at the Costco.
We are the Costco of the north. Yes. Yes, I'm going to go to Costco and I'm going to purchase another police officer.
If only.
If only, yeah. No, Costco's lovely. And their hot dogs. Oh, I love them.
With the drink for free. Come on.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So,
Cheap meals.
This is, I'm really excited about this whole thing. And they got pretty cool looking cars too. That black and white.
They do. Mm-hmm.
It's very classy.
And you should be seeing more and more of that around town as well. And stuff. So,
Yeah, that's excellent. And then lots of presents too, because we do have a burgeoning homeless problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
I think everywhere is facing that.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's kind of driven, I think, largely by economics.
Yeah.
It's definitely worse in places like Edmonton and Toronto.
Yeah.
Well, and seasonality comes into play as well, right? So I mean,
Yeah,
as soon as the weather gets warm, they all leave Vancouver and come up here.
Yeah. And then as soon as it gets cold, they're trying to get back down.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've lived in both places, so I know.
Yeah. You see the same guy and you're like,
It's like,
hey,
wait a second,
I know
Jeff?
you. Yeah. I know you. The thing too is that like the economy's kind of like, you know, when you go to fire up a diesel engine that's been sitting for a while, and you get all that blue smoke out the back, and then you hear some clunk, and you think you dropped a valve, and so you shut the thing off. It's sort of like that. And there's all those people living right on that edge of you know, can I pay my bills?
Yeah.
And when it's booming, they're doing okay, but they're right on that edge. And as soon as it's not booming, Now you have more people.
Have you guys spoken with Peter Kim at all?
No.
I've met him and talked to him.
Okay, yeah, he's a good fella, and he's got this beautiful in color, but a horrible chart that shows how many people they've been feeding over the past 5 years or 10 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Salvation Army.
Yeah. And so they went from something like 3 million meals a year to 12.5.
Oh, wow.
And something crazy like that. And the last time I spoke with him, he was talking about how he's trying to push that you don't lose dignity by accepting a meal from a soup kitchen, because you find that's some of the challenge, that all these kids are going hungry because the parents are embarrassed to come out and grab a meal.
Oh,
yeah. And so so there was this whole campaign about it's okay to ask for help. And so
don't be embarrassed.
Yeah. Feeding kids is more important.
Yeah,
so
it is.
So the poverty problem really is on the increase in Canada right now.
It certainly is.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you do have certain crimes attached with that come along.
Yeah.
So, no, there's no.
Well, sorry, if I may, and it's important to even separate. There's poverty, and then there's substance abuse as well, because you can almost consider them both under the poverty umbrella.
Yeah, but they're distinct issues.
They really are.
Yeah.
Stuff as well. So so I just want to make that separate.
Yeah, I was going to say that there's no real shame in being poor.
Yeah,
agreed. It's not. You're a human being made by God in His own image.
Yeah,
and you have all that native dignity.
Yeah.
So, but it is shocking that that's basically a quadruple in meal
in the need.
Yeah, in meal
absolutely.
services.
And Peter talks about how it was the homeless or the unhoused population, but now it's creeping into that lower middle class of income, and slowly creeping further and further into like the middle class income, and so it's quite sad.
Yeah. So one thing to think about for fathers with your sons, look to high value work for your sons to be moved into.
Yeah.
Right. If you go for low value work, you ride that line. You achieve it. Yeah.
You achieve what you strive for. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you do. Yeah. If you're aiming for a low target, you can hit it.
Yeah.
So that's something also to consider, because when things get slow and things get difficult for whatever reason, high value work is still high value work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And low value work is still, unfortunately, low value work.
And also, I think financial literacy is so important. So one of the things that I do is I actually teach financial literacy at two of the schools in town.
Oh, okay, good.
And so it's
high schools,
Peace Wapiti Academy and GP Christian.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stuff. And so, and it's amazing to just watch the kids' faces once they grasp certain concepts. Like, I had no idea. Why didn't it? It's like that. I'm telling you now. It's like I wish someone told me this when I was 15 or 18.
Wait, I can actually be wealthy?
Yeah. And
it is possible.
It takes so little.
Yeah.
It takes so little. Like, so I mean, this last round that I did, I showed them an investment calculator. I said, okay, so I started off with, okay, you're, because 18, 20. Let's say at 20 you start. And I always ask them, do you think you can save $800 a month? And I get a couple of people like, oh yeah. I'm like, okay, well, not you. And it's like, okay, so how many of you are working? And then I go into, can you save $500 a month? And then most of the kids put their hands up, and then I drop it down. It's like, can you save $300 a month?
Yeah.
And almost everybody's like, yeah, I can work. I can work for $300. I can find a way to put away $300. Right? So you put away $300, and I run them through the amortization. So I take them up to retirement of 65, and then at 65, when you've paid off your house and your toys, you stop putting money in and start pulling money out.
Right.
And if you live up to the age of 80, you will pass on about $6 million to your
That's insane.
Kids. And that's only putting in $300 a month for your working years.
Compound interest.
And it just blows their brain. Just completely. I mean, the jaws drops. Like not only can you be a millionaire at 65, but you can leave $6 million. Like, I mean, how would you feel if your grandma called you and say, by the way, or your dad told you, grandpa passed away, you now have $50,000.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Right? And it's just simple. It's not simple. It's compound interest.
It's compound interest.
Simple concept. Very simple to
do.
Absolutely, right?
Yeah.
It requires discipline.
Yeah.
But, if someone told Okay, I'll back up a little bit. So the first time I did this class, the reason I did this because I was working at the local bank, and I was working in retail, so I was working personal finance. And this couple came in, and they were like young, like 28, 30 years old, and they wanted a $40,000 loan to adopt a baby.
Right.
I'm like, I'm gonna get you this loan. Like, this was awesome, right?
Yeah.
So fantastic. So we went through the finances and all that kind of stuff, and did a credit, and their credit scores were 515 and 525. So banks stopped lending at 625.
Yeah, they do.
So I'm looking at these kiddos and like, what happened to get you here? And they had this blank stare, like, what happened with what? And to realize that they had very little to no financial knowledge,
yes,
right? And stuff. And so anyway, spoke with them a little bit more. And after they left, I had two thoughts. The first thought was, why didn't their parents teach them anything about money?
Yeah.
And then my second thought right after that was, I wonder how many of these parents actually know
anything,
how to handle money themselves, or what's happened with banking in the past 25 years.
Yeah.
Right. And so I called up a local school principal. I'm like, hey, man, how would you feel about me doing some financial literacy in your school?
That's awesome.
And he's like, I'll see you tomorrow. Like, Travis, wait. I
need to work on this a little bit.
This is just a thought. I need to plan this out. So so I did the first class, and it was once a week for 4 weeks, and it was like a 45 minutes, a half an hour session. And so I finished my first session ever, and the bell rang. I'm like, okay, before you leave, I got this for you, and I pulled out this. This toy, it's the kind that you screw into a hose and you fill 100 water bombs in once.
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about, right? So I pulled this thing. I said, "This is for you guys," and it was like, "Oh, this is awesome!" I'm like, well, so I'll back up. So when I as a thank you, I gave them all chocolate raisins.
As one does.
As one does. Right? So thank you for picking this course. It was elective. Here's chocolate raisins. And so when I finished the class, I'm like, I'll give this to whoever can bring me 8 chocolate covered raisins. Oh, they were so upset. They looked at me like I just like scandalous. Like,
so they ate the.
Everybody ate the raisins when they first given, and so they're like, well, and so everyone's like complaining. I'm like, hang on. So you're telling me that if you knew that there was a prize, you would not have eaten the raisins? They're like, no. I'm like, okay, we're going to talk about savings and investments next week.
That's awesome. That is really good.
So that's amazing. That's a great lesson.
That's really good.
So that worked great. And then, the next year I came back with my box, and everyone's like, hey, don't eat the raisins, don't eat the raisins. I'm like, oh, that's not going to work a second time.
That is really good.
Don't eat the raisins.
Don't eat the raisins.
You know what? I'm going to make that into a T-shirt, and then what I'm going to teach I'm going to teach my children how to save money. This is one thing. Like we were talking at the beginning about 2008.
Yeah.
And the big crash.
Yep.
And that was the moment I discovered I knew nothing about money. And I was already 2 months into home ownership.
Okay.
Yeah. Wow. When you're like, why am I?
Harsh way to learn.
It was. Why am I $50,000 underwater?
Yeah, it's craziness.
Like 2 months after I bought this thing, and the crash was terrifying for people that actually knew what was going on, but for me, I had no idea.
Yeah,
and that really freaked me out.
Yeah,
I
think the worst part of it as well, Brad, was there was very little. I mean, first there was very little you could do to change it.
Yeah,
right? And there was very little that people did wrong to actually get to that situation.
Yep.
You know, it was like there was an institutional flaw that caused a lot of this.
Yeah.
And people jumped all into it. So.
Yeah, when they were bundling bad mortgages into good.
Yeah, exactly, right? And even the subprime mortgage, you know, the banks are borrowing money at this and they're hoping to make the money somewhere else, and then so it's
and you had defaults.
And then people tell you this is what you can do, and you go, sure, sounds good, then I'll do it.
Low interest,
not realizing the implications of it, and that's
we got hosed. But and that's the thing too, is I just bought a house. Like I hadn't committed any crime.
Yeah,
and I mean it wasn't a great house, but it was 4 walls and a roof. You know, and everybody's like, you know, land is a good investment. It will generally trend up.
He's not making any more.
Yeah. Yeah. God ain't making more land.
right.
The Chinese have tried, but God ain't.
Well, Dubai has succeeded at it, so.
Yeah. However, property values there are ridiculously high. Don't buy that. No.
And the Dutch have managed to expand their land size.
I think, okay.
Yeah.
Over the course of the last 500 years, all the dikes have been to push back the ocean and have more arable land.
Yeah, they've reclaimed some of that land.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. This is why Dutch people are tall. You have to be taller than sea level.
Wade.
Yeah. Just in case the dike breaks, you need to live.
It's the marsh wiggle from living in a swamp.
Yeah. You'll see all these blonde heads bobbing around.
Yeah, exactly. Blue
Please plug that hole.
There you go. He stands up, puts his finger in the dam.
Yeah. I read the book too. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah. So like another book I read shortly thereafter. I think it was published in 2009. I think was another. It was a Neil Ferguson, The Ascent of Money.
Okay.
And somebody had recommended it to me. You know, this guy, he's an economist and a historian. If you read this, it'll help you understand things. And it did. But just starting to read those kind of books, I realized
revolutionary.
Yeah. I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah. Well, and I would say I'm not a very smart, well-educated fella. So I think if you just stick to the basics, even, or just understanding, spend less than you make, put some stuff aside, and then when I teach the kids now, I draw this rectangle and I break it up into 3 sections. So this is how you spend your money. The first thing you do is you pay your bills.
Yep.
Right. The second thing you do is you save and you invest, and the third thing you do is you focus on fun, because you have to have fun.
Yeah.
Right. I said the average person
does the other way around.
Starts with fun.
Yes.
And then once they've had their fun, then they get to the bills.
Yeah.
Most of them don't finish paying their bills.
Yeah.
And so so the next round they're doing fun and bills again, and that gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And they never get to savings and investments.
Yeah.
So and I tell them, if I ever see you out in public, I will ask you this set, and I need you to tell me, bills, savings, investments, and then fun.
Yeah.
Right? And so I was at the corn maze.
Okay. Yes.
And I was filling some paperwork, and as I'm walking out, this one goes, "Hey, you taught me the thing." I'm like, "Yeah, I did. I remember." What's the thing? And she looks at me dead eye. She's like, "Fun, fun, and fun." I'm like, "Okay, classic. You know." You're good.
You're saucy. Yeah. Yes. That's excellent. Yeah. And like I've noticed too, like with inflation and the rise in the cost of things, that I've had to rejigger my budget.
Yes.
Multiple times over the last few years, because the savings thing has been very difficult.
Yeah.
So for like my wife and I have these conversations. Probably, I would say every month, maybe every 2 months. Okay, we need to look at this.
Good for you.
Yeah, not because I have a lot of savings, but because I don't. But we're learning it's funny, we're 17 years married, but one of the things that we're still learning how to do is how to talk about money.
Oh yeah.
For me, it's because I feel very vulnerable about money because I know that I've been burned here before.
Yes.
And I don't feel like I'm competent with it. So it's something that it's always emotional to talk about. And so one of the things I've been learning to grow in mature is just take the ego and can it and just talk about this thing rationally. And it's been that's something that my wife and I think it's something that's been improving in our communication within our marriage.
Okay.
Is about money.
Yeah.
Because it's a difficult thing when you get to the end of the month and you're like, I can't afford fun. I can't afford, whatever. But the bills got paid. Oh, thank goodness. But
it's a constant conversation between us.
It has to be because, prices for things change and needs change as well. Right. My daughter, she needs some dental work. Right.
Yeah.
So that's a cost.
Yes.
Which, is partly covered by benefits from work, which helps. But sitting there going, I really wish I had more savings. And then I look back in my history and I can see why I didn't.
Yeah.
Because of a lack of discipline.
Yeah.
A lack of financial literacy. Right. I didn't have anybody telling me, hey, this is just sitting me down and saying, this is what you do.
Yeah.
That would have been really good at the age of 18 or 19. At the age of 18, I remember some respected fellow from my church telling me, it's not all about money. And I made the mistake of taking him literally.
Yeah.
right? That was my financial training.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
It is, because I've also found. I mean, even during the last few world crises that have happened, the people that had savings were in a much stronger position to handle a lot of drama that came their way.
COVID?
So COVID, for example, absolutely. Being able to say no, I don't want to take a vaccine if you felt that way, and not being worried that your employer might have a different opinion. That meant something to a lot of people back then. So
my employer had toyed around with it, and so many guys at my employment said no, I'm not taking it, that they backed off.
Okay,
we actually had a customer. This is the rumor I heard, was that a certain customer came to our Calgary office and said, if we require a vaccine to work on our sites, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
And my employer said, we will not be able to service your contract.
So that level of confidence can only come at cash in the bank.
Yes.
Right. So but exactly. It's money's not everything, but it is something.
It is something.
Well, that's something my wife and I have talked about for quite a while. Like, we want to be able to pivot and move so that nobody can ever steer us with money.
Yeah.
So
it's a powerful lever when you're like, do I have food on the table?
Yeah.
Can I pay this bill?
Yep.
Absolutely.
And you've got 4 kids and lots of debt, and your employer's telling you to do something against your conscience, then it's hard to say no. It
is. It really is.
Yeah.
There's a certain strength, a certain power in a level of independence where you say, And another thing too is just keep calm and carry on. Like, if I lose my job, that's not the end of the world.
God will provide.
I am a fundamentally ambitious fellow.
Yeah.
I can learn anything, and it will be painful, but I've had painful before. Like, this is not the end of the world,
So there's certain characteristics of scrappiness and tenacity,
grit,
and grit.
Grit is important. I mean, nothing ever is a straight line or an easy path, right?
Yeah.
Grit matters, and you get grit by
tough circumstances.
And
surviving.
It's like, oh, that didn't work.
Yeah.
I've had that with vehicles, which can be an expensive investment. Well, it's not really an investment. They depreciate. That's why I buy used.
Yeah.
Most of the depreciations happened.
Yeah.
So any depreciation happens because I accidentally drove it off the road or something.
Right.
But vehicles, if you buy new vehicles and you don't buy with cash, you are setting yourself up for a world of hurt, particularly if you're like an employee, not an employer.
Yeah. Well, and even it's the size of the vehicle, I mean, I know Dave Ramsey has a rule of thumb, like your vehicle should not cost more than 25% of your annual income.
Right.
Yeah. What a great framework to begin to think about how you buy stuff, right? And this is the comedian I was watching. He says his wife taught him about money, and he was doing pretty well. He wanted to buy this expensive, fancy car, and she said, "You can buy whatever you want, but question: can you afford 2?"
Yes,
and
that's a good point.
It's like, well, maybe it's like when you can afford 2 comfortably, then you should buy. Then you can buy 1.
Yes,
so what a great framework again, right?
That's good. Because a car or a truck isn't going to return anything necessarily.
Yeah.
So that's a good framework.
Yeah. So can you buy 2?
Okay.
And
my dad always said, if you buy a brand new car, you drive off the lot and hit the first bump, and you lose half its value.
Yeah.
Basically.
Very true. Very true.
Well, and the thing too is, if you're, I think the median wage in Alberta right now is $112,000 a year. I think.
Okay, that's high.
Maybe it's 107.
That's why we're bringing so many people in.
Yeah, I think it might be 107.
Okay.
Yeah.
Last time I looked at it, which is a few years ago, but your average pickup truck has gone from $70,000 to $120,000.
Yeah.
Right. That's
a year's wages.
Oh yeah. You want to buy yourself a nice new,
Skidoo or toy or whatever.
Yeah.
Actually, even if I take a step back, even the concept of searching for these things, so I'll give you an example. There was a gentleman that came in, I think he made about $280,000, $300,000 a year, and his wife had just a get out of the house and she had like a $50,000 admin job that she didn't really care about. She just wanted to get out and
do something.
and just enjoy not being home, right? So it's great setup for the two of them. Came in and he wanted something like a $15,000 loan, so very small compared to the income coming in, and I couldn't give him the loan.
Oh no,
because he was disciplined in his finances to the point that, but he loved toys, and so he would go out and go to a dealership and say, how much for this boat? He didn't buy it, and then he'd go out to some other sports place and look at how much for this Corvette and how much for this motorcycle, all that kind of stuff. But here's the thing: every time he went out, they would say, "Can I do a credit check?" And so they did a credit check on him, and so by the time I did a credit check,
his credit score is like. Whew.
Well, it wasn't the credit score. I spoke with the adjudicator, and his question was, Warren, this dude has done 30 credit, because if you go to, let's say, a car dealership, they will test your credit score against 5 different places. So that's 5 checks.
Oh.
And so by the time it came to me, there were 20 checks before mine. And so my risk adjudicator says, Warren, what if everybody gives him a $10,000 loan?
Yeah.
Can he afford $200,000 plus your 15?
He can't.
And I'm like, maybe you can.
That makes sense.
So they're assessing that as risk.
Testing. Yeah, every time you go out and have a third party run a credit check on you,
so you got to be careful
hit
about
5 different institutions, and your 6th institution says, what if all those 5 say yes and give an approval? Ours is going to be way in the bottom. And so most people don't know that. So they just walk into a dealership and they say, hey, let me do a credit check to see how much you can afford. They go, sure. You do that 3 times. That becomes a problem.
Then when you go to get your loan, you can't.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's interesting.
That's good to know.
That is good to know.
And
I don't make a habit of walking into dealerships. So,
but I mean, again, for this guy, he didn't buy anything. So he was just shopping around to make up his mind to see what he wanted.
He was just having fun.
He was having fun because he could afford it. And good for him, not realizing the implications downstream.
right. So when shopping around, do not let them do a credit check.
Just in general, don't let anybody do a credit check. Yeah, there you go. I mean, again, they're doing a credit check to tell you what you can afford.
Right.
You should know what you can afford before you walk in there.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah.
You can afford to, exactly.
That's another thing too, is that if you walk into a purchase knowing this is my limit, I'm going to stay within it.
Yeah.
And if it's not, walk away.
Yeah, the walk away part.
You don't need it.
Yeah.
I think pre-approval is important, though. Like if you're going to get a mortgage, then it's good to get pre-approved by a mortgage broker.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's what we did. I mean, we got all the math done by a mortgage broker, and then we went around to different banks and said, hey, this is what we can afford and all that kind of stuff. So,
nice.
Yeah.
I've also been using AI to calculate a lot of that because I'm not very good at math.
Excellent. That's fantastic.
Yeah, Grok.
Yeah, I use Google Gemini, I think.
Grok is my favorite AI.
Yeah, I know. You like it. You like saying Grok. That's why you like it. So
I like talking about Grok as if he's a human.
I talked to my friend Grok.
Yeah. Oh, and that's a he for you. Okay, that's great.
Okay.
That's right.
Grok's a he.
Grok's a he. He was looking for male companionship. He found it in his computer.
Better than female companionship.
We're joking about it, but this is actually a huge problem.
It really is.
In pastoral counseling and counseling and all of that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just on a broader scale.
Yeah.
People taking their problems to a computer.
Well, and people finding AI girlfriends, and it basically becomes a form of emotional cheating.
Absolutely.
So, it does.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. But anyway, I ask his friend,
buddy,
his
Grok.
buddy, yeah. But what I do is I input. Here's my inputs. Right, money coming in. Here's. Let's say if we're talking about a house, here's the down payment.
Yeah.
The expected down payment. Here's the current posted interest rate, and amortize over 30 years. Tell me what my monthly payments on different payment schedules will be.
Fantastic.
If I roll taxes in,
Yeah.
right? So you just keep adding prompts to this.
Yep. Get it more sophisticated and stuff.
Exactly.
And something else I tell the kids as well is I run them through a budgeting process. So I think the median income in Canada is $65,000.
Yes.
Right now, right? And so I said, okay, let's run it down to 60. Just for easy math. Do it 60, divide by 12, that's $5,000 a month. And we walk through this entire process, right? And I'll give you a side note. I always say this, I ask them what expenses are. And so car insurance, all the stuff comes in. And I always ask, I said, there's one thing that should be here that is not here. and then man, their brains are cooking. They just come up with all this stuff, and I was like, okay, you're not going to get it because I'm kind of cheating the system. But it's donations.
Oh yes,
you guys should donate something.
Absolutely.
And I said, even if it's $2 a month, it changes your brain chemistry into being a giver of wealth and a giver of blessing to somebody else.
Yes.
So I said, the world will try and tell you that you're a victim.
Yep.
And that you suck. And people need to give you a handout. And so therefore go to somebody for help. But once you start donating, you become the giver.
Yes.
And
Yes.
you need to really own
think
that for your brain, right? And so I get that. Then beyond that, I could bring them down and say, and after all the expenses, you will have $300 left a month. And I said, if you can have $300 left a month, you are ahead of 80% of people in this country.
That is shocking.
Yeah, it's tremendous, right? And so I worked through the whole thing, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to complicate your life a little bit because everyone's feeling comfortable with this, and they actually take the notes. Okay, so do you remember how I said you make $60,000 a year? You take home about 50 though. So let's redo the math on your income side. So about 50, it's like, okay, so now you're in the hole $200 a month.
Yes.
So this is where most people in Canada are sitting. So program your brain that when someone gives you a number of how much you're making, don't worry about that. How much are you taking home?
Net is everything.
And base your budget off. Because people walk around like, I make $120,000 a year.
Yep.
Okay, your take home is 72.
I know.
Of that. So
it's crazy.
It really is. And so, plan your life around what you take home.
Yes.
Not around what you think you're making, because everyone's taking a piece of that pie before it even gets to your house.
Yep.
So that's a shocking little revelation for them.
Yeah, that's something I've been training my children as well with your whatever your net is.
Yeah.
10%.
Yeah.
Tithe.
Absolutely.
And then it's an easy round number.
Yeah.
And you always know it's the same proportion.
Yeah. Yep, exactly.
Yeah. If I make a lot this month, it's a bigger number. If I make less, it's less.
And even with that, like for the tithe, for example, you set that number 10% based on your faith and your ideals there. I'd say do the same thing to savings. When your kids are young, just set another 10% into savings. And then that doesn't become a conversation to have every month.
No, it's an automatic.
This is my tithe, my save, and this is my savings, and here's what we got to live on now. You know, and so the conversation is about what do we spend inside that final portion versus how much can we put to savings or not.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, that kind of thinking is really, really helpful. I actually. I remember it was shortly after I was married. I switched jobs. I wanted more money, obviously, right? Because things were tight. And I had a low-paying job, and I went and got a higher-paying job. But one of the things that grieved me the most about my previous employment was I didn't, once I paid my bills, I had no tithe.
Right.
And I was like, this is wrong. I need to, I am working my tail off.
Yeah.
I'm physically putting out. Why am I not making more money? Oh, this is low-value work. I need to go to higher value work.
Yeah.
Right. And so then the Lord provided higher value work, and I was like, I'm in.
Yep.
So, and that's, been my attitude ever since. I can do higher value. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And
and I don't have a great education, but
Yeah.
As time goes on, I begin to realize how much that giving, that tithe, however much you give, how much it plays into the Christian life, and
it does.
It's a very spiritual act.
It is. Yeah.
But it's also a it's a promise you can push God on.
Right.
Lord, I've been faithful.
Yeah.
And so where is this? And God said, test me on this. One of the few times he actually says, test me on anything. He says, test me on this one, and you can push back and say where and how.
Yeah.
And then you get to my age, you look back oh, that's what he was doing. And
yes,
he was trimming some fat off me. And okay, I get it now.
Yeah.
I get it now, right? That kind of thing.
Because I sent the tithe to my church. I didn't have it to spend on the toy I wanted.
Yeah.
I didn't need that toy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the other thing too is it doesn't, with a church, a small church can still support a full-time minister.
Yes.
You don't need, I think
10 families give 10%, you can support a full-time minister.
Yeah. No, that's the rough math on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's really actually straightforward. And it's funny, we don't spend a lot of time talking about tithing in our church at all, and our men do.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's really wonderful to see. We don't have to tell them.
Yeah.
They have read their scriptures. The Spirit has moved them.
Mm-hmm.
They do.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's phenomenal.
No, and then it shows up also in generosity in other ways.
Yes.
Right? Because now I'm being trained by the Holy Spirit, by my tithe, to be generous elsewhere.
Well, and to hear when he's telling you to do stuff, right? You just get that trained ear. I'm like, okay, and it's not a
there's a need.
Yeah, there's a need. Just go do it, and you're just so comfortable with knowing that he's going to tell me to give some stuff off. So I'm just going to walk around with a bunch of 20s.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. That's something that I've cash. Walk around with cash.
Yeah.
I like cash. I spend less when I have cash in my wallet. Yes. But I also have that opportunity.
Yeah, it's emotionally draining to like hand off cash to somebody.
It is.
You know?
This is a physical
for a Pepsi?
thing.
Like, really?
Yeah, this is a physical thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, our money is. I one time made a joke that I rated the Monopoly set so that I could afford a road trip because our multicolored funny money.
Yeah.
The American friend I was with thought that was funny.
Yeah.
But the thing about having cash in the wallet, it's do you have, can you afford two? You want that cheeseburger? Can you buy two?
Yeah.
If no,
well, there's something that I tell the kids as well. After I show them the graph and show them, how compound interest after 25 years, because I think again that thing that I showed them said, if you put $300 a month from 20 to 65. When you retire at 65, you actually have about $3.5 million in your bank account. If you pull $2,000 a month out of it, you die with $6 million because that still keeps growing.
Yeah, because
right?
of interest.
Because of interest, right? So that keeps growing, and you're pulling out a lot less than what the compound is giving you every year, right? So, so every dollar you make today at 65 is worth about $75.
Yeah.
And so your coffee is about $400,
right,
for your 65-year-old self. And Jordan Peterson's got this great analogy. He says, you are a collection of all the you in your entire life. So you're a community of you from 20 to 30 to 50. So make a decision now that's good for your 65-year-old you, and have a chat with your 65-year-old self. Like, what do you think about me making this call? Kind of thing. Right? So very, very, very cool.
That's actually good advice.
Very cool concept, right? So when I'm 25, what would my 45-year-old person say? My 45-year-old version of me say about this decision right now? And I'm like, so every dollar now is worth 75 when you're 65 years old. So
that's interesting.
Go ahead and have that coffee if you feel you need it, but take a beat to think about the leverage that you're giving up in that moment.
Right.
So
it's a trade-off. You're trading off something.
You really are. So.
I just had that with my phone company. Okay. I canceled our old phone plan, went to a new phone plan because I discovered it would cost half as much. I was like, oh. Then they called me and they're like, so what would it take? And well, you would have to be a quarter of the cost to give me new phones. And they're like, nah, click.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think even the concept of taking a moment when you're 25 to think about what life would be when you're 55.
Yeah.
Because I didn't ever.
No.
Until I got much later in life.
Closer to 55.
And what I say to the kids is when you get to 40, one of your friends' parents are going to pass away.
Yep.
And all of a sudden you're going to say, hey, I should think about this stuff.
Yep.
At that point, it's well too late to actually create wealth for your generations. At that point, you're just trying to take care of yourself.
Yep.
And God help you when you're you're 60 and you have to call up your kid and say, hey, can I move in with you? Because I made some bad choices myself.
Yeah.
So you don't want that. You don't want your parents to be doing that. Yeah. So take care of yourself now. And so take a moment to think about, when do you think you're going to die? And say, well, 65. So okay, remember that. Every decision you make right now has to last you till you're 65.
Yeah.
And then think of that trajectory of what you're creating right now.
Yeah. And I remember my grandparents, they lived into their 90s. They retired at 65, lived into their 90s.
Okay.
So that is a potential.
Yes.
I mean, I think the average in Canada is about 75 to 78 is how I think is the average-ish age.
Okay.
But if you're retiring at 65, that's still another dozen years.
Yeah.
Give or take, depending, right? Now, of course, things can happen. But, yeah. What are you going to do after 65?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they might kick you out of work. They might send you home and tell you not to come back.
Yeah.
They might retire you.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Yeah. Well, and I always ask, how many of you want to be working when you're 65? And you get, invariably, there's these farm kids that are like, oh, my grandpa is like 75 on the tractor. I'm like, he's on the tractor because he wants to be on the tractor, not because he has to be on the tractor.
Yeah. You could be.
That's right. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So the question was, how much do you want to work versus do you have to work?
Yeah, yeah.
And
Those are two different questions.
they really are.
Yeah.
So think about that. How many of you want to be in a position that you have to work at 65 versus I want to do this because I enjoy doing this, and you can only have that if you're taking care of the other stuff, so anyway.
Yeah, because I want to be working as a pastor at 75, but I also don't want to have to work past 63.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I should be in a good financial place by the time I'm 63
Yeah.
or 60 or whatever.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I speaking of investments, and planning for the future.
Yeah.
I discovered I am not a stock picker.
Okay, good for you.
Almost
nobody is.
Yeah, no, and it took me a little bit of money to figure that out. Not too much, but a bit. And so, but I read that it was I think it was a book by Warren Buffett.
Mm-hmm. He would be the ultimate stock picker.
Yeah, that was part of what convinced me that I didn't know what I was doing. Because he clearly did. But he had this thing where there was a certain set of stocks where he would just buy a stock that returned a dividend.
Right.
And then take the dividend, put it back in, and then just leave it and just keep doing that.
Yeah.
So I thought I'd try that. So I have a couple of grand in this account that I thought I'd mess around with. And it was really funny. In 2 years that I've been doing this, it's more than double the return of the S&P 500.
Phenomenal.
Wow.
And I just Googled which stocks are going to return a dividend.
Yeah.
And buy those and then just take the dividend and put it right back in immediately.
Yeah.
So I found that kind of interesting. So I've run a 2-year experiment. And I'm like, man, I need more cash because this is working.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's kind of funny.
Well, it is. Picking a stock is the riskiest way to invest in the market, right? And so I tell the kids to get involved with bonds.
Right.
Well before getting involved with stocks. I mean, so when I was 21, I worked for a brokerage firm that was housed in the Vancouver Stock Exchange building.
Okay.
Yeah, it's called Canaccord. It was called Canaccord Capital. It's not called Canaccord Genuity. And so learned a lot from a lot of the people there and stuff, and and did some riskier stuff in my own portfolio. So it's the worst thing you can do is try and pick a stock.
Yeah.
It is by far the riskiest thing, right? So and at that time, the bond market was 12 times the size of the stock market.
Right. So this would have been 90s, early 90s?
I don't want to go there.
Oh, come on. I'm just trying to place it historically.
It would have been 2000?
2000?
2001 in that range. Yeah. So it was 12 times the size of the stock market, but nobody heard about these sexy bond traders.
No.
All the 90s movies all about these stock dudes, right?
Yes,
and
yes.
So, so tell the kids, get involved with bonds and start building a portfolio. And I said, if you think you're good, there's a couple of apps you can download. Kevin O'Leary had an app. It was called Beanstalk. I'm not sure what's happened with that. But you could invest fake money in the real stock market. I told the kids, every one of you should download that app and put in a bunch of fake money into the real market and watch how good you are at picking stocks.
So it's a good training tool.
Smart.
It's a great training tool. And there's several ones that are out there right now that do that. And so ultimately, I just tell the kids, talk to your banker and get involved in some kind of fund.
Yeah.
And let a professional gauge your risk profiles. Because, I found for myself, I love physical risk.
Right.
I hate financial risk.
Right.
So
most people are the other way around.
So man, I'll run into a burning building, just for the right reasons. But risking my money, it's like, oh my gosh, like I don't think so.
Yeah, that's right. You're a firefighter too. We'll talk about that in a minute.
So it's one of those things. So my risk profile financially is different from the rest of my lifestyle. And so I said, each of you have a risk profile, right? So talk to a professional, get that on paper, and then invest in that stream because then you can put your money in and be comfortable with that it's been taken care of based on what you're thinking. And then when life changes, check your risk profile again.
Yep.
Yeah.
Keep coming back to it.
Keep going back to it, right? And make it. I know, when I was at the bank, I'd call people and like, hey, do you want to come in for your annual conversation? Most people get shy because they think their finances are just so messed up. It's like, I don't want to come and talk to somebody about this. And generally it's like, well, it's not going to change unless you talk to somebody. Unless you talk to somebody about it. And it's generally, your banking fees pay for the service. And so you've got access to a professional.
Use it
And leverage it and make the most of this tool, really.
Yeah.
Calling myself a tool. Yeah, go ahead.
Swallow the embarrassment.
Exactly.
And fix the problem.
Yeah, fix the problem. Absolutely.
Yeah. No, I last time I went in for a mortgage, it was kind of funny.
Yeah.
Because they're like running through the checklist of questions.
Yes.
It's like 3 pages of questions. And, what debt do you have? I'm sitting there thinking to myself, well, the mortgage. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Do you have any vehicle debt? No vehicle debt. No credit card debt. Oh, I'm paying that off at the end of the month.
Yeah.
Which what do I use on my credit card to pay off at the end of the month? Oh, okay. Line of credit, same thing. Okay, and then you just go down the list, and they're like, well, you don't have huge savings. And I'm like, yeah, I know. I got a little bit, but not huge. And they're like, yeah, okay. You're better off than most of my customers. That's what came out of her mouth. Yeah. And I was like, huh?
Yeah, because I mean, the debt steals from you,
Oh, it does.
And I'm talking a lot about the financial stuff.
Oh, this is great.
No, that's okay.
All right, so
as long as you're fine with that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You sound fine.
So I talk to the kids about borrowing money. So Brad, if you want to borrow money from Nathan,
yes,
and Nathan says, it's going to cost you to borrow. I asked him like, what is interest? And very few people could define interest.
Right.
Right. It's like it's the cost of borrowing. It's you paying it because you borrowed, or somebody's paying you because they borrowed from you. But it's the fee for borrowing. Essentially, it's simple terms. And then I talk about on a home, it's a fixed asset. You can't steal it, and so it's least risk, least amount of interest.
Yep.
You got a vehicle, more risk, more interest, and stuff like that, right? And so then, I said, okay, so home is, let's say, 3 to 5%, and then a vehicle is like 5 to 10. Okay, and then if you want to do a kitchen renovation, well, the bank cannot come and take your kitchen renovation, so interest is a little higher. It's about 10 to 12%.
Right.
I said, sometimes people borrow like 20%, and the kid's like, who would do that? It's like,
MasterCard.
That's called a credit card. That's a credit card. I'm like, that's a credit card.
That's a credit card. Yeah. Well, yeah. And then your line of credit will be 7 to 10.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all staged based on the risk.
Yeah.
But even the concept of that's a credit card, they just think it's free money. It's like no one explains the implications of the interest portion of it, right?
Yes.
And you can actually use it for free if you pay it with the proper cadence.
Yes.
So
yeah. If you pay off your whatever you put on your card at the end of the month, you're not paying interest.
Correct. Yeah. And I showed them this tree. I say, when you first start, it'll be like $100, and so you borrow and you pay, and the bank will say, good job.
Yeah.
And then they'll make it 500. So you borrow and you pay, and you borrow and pay, and you eventually make this Christmas tree.
Yep.
And that's what the bank wants to see, because if you were to come to me and say, Mr. Travasso, I want to borrow $400,000 for a house, I'll look at you and say, okay, the last time you borrowed money, how did you behave? And the last time you borrowed money, you borrowed $50 from a friend. I'm like, I have nothing to base your $400,000 decision on. So I need to understand how you're going to behave when you have debt. And that's why a credit score is important.
Yeah.
That's why a credit history is important. And so everyone who told you credit cards are bad, they were partially
They were telling half the story.
They were partially accurate, but this system is built differently, and so learn the system. Yeah. And so anyway,
yeah, that's something that I am glad I did when I was young. Was I got a credit card with a low limit, and then just paid it off every month.
Yeah,
that, when it came time to buy a house, my credit score was pretty good.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, but when it came to the what to buy. Yeah, no. This is another thing too. Is I got good advice on that first house that I bought from a fellow that I didn't trust.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't like the guy at all. He was in my opinion downright ignorant sometimes.
Right.
And then he told me, he said, "Don't buy that house." Yeah. He said, "You can't afford that."
Okay.
And I was like, "Go pound sand," right? So then I buy the house and I get into it and I'm like, he was right.
Yeah.
Sometimes your best advice is coming from people. They're being really friendly.
Yes.
And you don't know it.
Yeah.
because either your ego's in the way or, something like that.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're just an abrasive person and they actually were telling you the truth because they cared to tell you the truth. He had no vested interest in telling me the truth.
Yeah.
He stood to gain nothing from any decision I made.
Yeah.
He was just telling me the truth.
Yeah.
And I should have listened. So listen to those people in your life.
Well, I'll tell you a funny story about ego. I was at a hardware store renting some equipment. I wanted to sand one of my walls. I was doing a basement renovation. And so I got a belt sander. And there was this older fella there. And he's like, hey, you should maybe belt sander's not the best option. You should use maybe simple sander on a pole.
Right.
That'll give you a bit more control and won't be as aggressive and stuff. And I'm like, I just saw this guy beside me flirting with this little girl. And I'm like, I have so little respect for this man's opinion, whatever. So anyway, so I said, yeah, thanks. Appreciate it. Right. So took it up and, but he put on a jacket with the company logo and the girl put on a jacket and they both went behind the till. I'm like, oh, they work together. Ego should have said, you know what, I'm gonna change my mind. Take your advice. It's like, no, I got the belt stand. I stripped up like the whole section my seam. I'm like, what I should have done was realize, okay, they know each other and they're friends and they work together. So, I was just so embarrassed. Embarrassed.
Now I got to redo this wall.
I got to redo the whole wall. Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, I've definitely done that kind of thing. I sometimes don't feel I learn unless it hurts.
True, eh?
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great. So we talked about police. We talked about money.
Yeah. Let's just do a quick summary. So you're a banker. You do banking.
You know what? I have stepped away from the bank. I'm not running my own business.
You're now running your own business.
I am.
Okay.
Yep,
and can you tell us anything about your own business?
Sure. Yeah.
That'd be great.
You have to stop me though.
No.
So
we can run for another 20 minutes if you have the time.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So. Yeah, I've got to go home and fix a fence. And so as long as I can stay, this is great.
Okay. Avoid fixing the fence.
So while I was working on one of our fire calls, I actually injured my back.
Okay.
And I tried to get a massage physio appointment, whatever that was. And so I ran a search online and I got, you list the top 10. So I called the first 8 and they were all booking and they would love to see me in 16 days. I'm like, this is not going to work. So I just hit a bottle of Advil or a painkiller for the next and acted like a late 40-year-old until I felt better. And so I was at an event, like a friend's place, and I met this couple. I think she's a physio, and he's a chiropractor, something like that. And they said, oh, you should have called our practice. We always have space. And I realized in that moment that the companies that are doing well and don't have the space, have the money for search engine optimization, and the ones that don't. You don't, and you never find them. And the Lord said, you should fix this.
Okay.
I'm like, okay. So I have a website now. It's called mytherapynetwork.ca.
I'll post a link to that in the notes.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. And it's basically a site where you can go and you put in 3 things. You put in the type of therapy, your location, and a date. And when you hit search, what shows up are available appointments. You can click and book.
Oh.
No more phoning around.
No way.
Yeah. It's super simple. And
That's cool.
And it's free. I charge the therapist $3 for every appointment that I book for them. So it's super cheap for them.
Yep. That is cheap.
I think the average one's like $80 or whatever, and so it's super cheap for them. There's no risk, and it's free for people like me that were in pain, and they can just put their stuff in. And if you and the wife decide you want to go on a trip to some other place and you want to book a couple's massage, you can just put that place to date, and you can book a massage over there or whatever over there. So I've got 8 different disciplines that I'm focusing on, and we're going to be launching in about. Site's active. But we're going to do a full proper launch in about 2-3 weeks.
Nice.
So mytherapynetwork.ca.
.ca.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, there you go. So it's,
and are you still firefighting?
Yeah, so that's a volunteer on call. So evenings.
Okay.
So when I was at the bank, it was evenings and weekends with Byzance and Station 9.
And that's for the county then, not
for the county. Okay. Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you come out to lots of car fires and stuff like that.
Yeah, so a few structure fires, mostly vehicle, roadside, and then not as bad for the last year and a bit. But 2023, we were all into the summer forest fire season.
Oh, yes.
Dunes West was all us. It was, I did.
Oh, so you fought the Dunes fires?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, I
awesome.
was there.
Well done.
Yeah, I did 40 hours in 4 days.
Yep.
lost my day job. It was a crazy time for us.
Yeah, that sounds tiring.
Yeah, I was watching the fires from my place in Dimsdale.
Oh yeah, that's right. We were right there.
Yeah, because what road is that? Is it the 720? Just south.
Remember.
Yeah, just south of my place is where the evacuation line was.
Yep. The Pines acreage.
Yeah.
Things over there as well.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, I think they evacuated that. But that creek that runs right behind my house is the creek that empties out over where the fire started.
Yes.
So all those trees were burning, and it was coming towards my house.
Yeah.
And it was really funny because I had a friend who we'd been planning for a long time to have him and his family over for a barbecue.
Okay.
And that was the day we'd picked. Was that Saturday. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, I don't know, is our house going to be here? Yeah. Maybe not. I don't know. So on the Friday, I took my kids to my in-laws on the other side of town. And we're just like, we'll spend the evening here, see what happens. I went back Saturday morning and I'm like, you know what? There's not a cloud in the sky. There's no smoke. Clearly, these guys have got this under control. I call my buddy up. I'm like, barbecue's on. And he's like, okay. So I'm sitting there running my barbecue. And then all of a sudden, poof, there's a smoke. Poof, there's smoke. Oh. Poof, there's smoke. And I'm like, they do not have that under control yet. So then my buddies showed up and we sat there. We barbecued our brisket and we smoked cigars. And we're sitting in our lawn chairs. Yeah. And we both got our keys. Yeah, we got our keys sitting on the table.
Just in case.
Just in case we got to get out of Dodge real quick. And my kids already had their backpacks packed in the car.
Oh, good. Yeah.
So we're sitting there smoking and how fast do you think that fire's moving? I said,
yeah.
And then the plane came in. It was
great.
It was better than television.
Yeah, it would have been. Yeah. It would have been. Yeah. So I was in that subdivision. Like our battalion was in that subdivision just before that happened. So what we did was we had water trucks that circled the main roads, and then we had 1-ton trucks with like a 1 cubic meter tote in the back with a small trash pump that kind of went into the acreages and fought the fire, then came back and refilled.
Okay,
and then after that, we'd go to the next house and just kind of keep that circle going.
Keep chasing it.
Keep chasing it, right? And then and we had several vehicles doing this, and then suddenly we got the calls like, mayday, get out. And this was my first real big fire, right? Okay. So I was in the pump. We had a captain with us, and then we had somebody operating the hose. And both of them come running out of the bush. I'm like, okay, we got to get out. So I unplug us, start rolling. He says, drop the hose and go. It's like yelling. I'm like, oh, okay, like calm down. So get in the vehicle. Everybody gets out of the subdivision. 15, 30 seconds later, the whole thing is up in flames.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, he meant we should get the heck out of Dodge. That meant get the heck out of Dodge. And so he's like,
drop.
Coiling the, like, no,
that's
yell that.
Yeah, just leave your equipment.
Drop everything and then get out. And okay, so shut the pump and got out, and it was less than 30 seconds.
Oh, yeah. He doesn't want to.
Yeah, I've actually got a video of us just having decompressing and having a bottle of water with all the crews watching the area we were just in just go up in flames.
Mm-hmm.
Just adrenaline coursing through your veins.
Absolutely, absolutely. But it was that for 3 full days. It was just adrenaline, and then once the adrenaline wore off, you just crashed in the truck for an hour.
Yeah,
and then go again. And then you go back again.
Yeah, and it was so dry down there, all that tamarack pine and spruce.
That's wild.
Yeah. I mean, and we know we had somebody from the States come up and do a post-incident review and run, and he was amazed. Like, I'm amazed you guys lost only 10 houses. Like, this was crazy.
Yeah, I was surprised too.
Yeah. One of my friends, it was his house, one of his houses, or his house was one of the houses. Yeah,
which one?
I forget his name, but they just finished doing a renovation on their kitchen.
Okay.
Yeah, poor guy.
That's sad.
Yeah.
All that work.
Yeah, all that work they just finished. But no, it went up so quickly and it was so dry and windy. Yeah. The same year that was going on, we had fires up north where I was working, and the one rig camp that we stay in routinely, I shifted out, came home for my days off, and it burned down while I was at home.
My goodness.
Yeah, the camp just right to the ground. So then they rebuilt the camp after the fire left, and it was up and running again, I think 2.5 months later.
Okay. The show must go on.
Yeah, the show must go on. So then we go up there, and we're staying in this new camp, brand new camp. Like, they didn't even have all the bed sheets available yet.
Okay.
Like, it was brand new. And we're driving to work, and the forest is burning in the ditch beside us as we drive.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't out yet.
Oh, Yeah.
Yeah, it was, and then everyone's like, if you smoke and you light things on fire, we're gonna kill you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and it's fun, the funny kids were still doing it.
Oh yeah,
You know, we had
there's that one guy with the Roman candles.
yeah, and then you had kids just having little campfires in the dunes. I'm like, guys, where's your dad?
Yeah, where is your dad?
Where's your dad?
He's probably up at a rig camp that
That's
just
right.
got burned down.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, the whole area was just a tinderbox.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. That Slave Lake fire about 10, 12 years ago,
Yes,
that was
I remember
another
that
one like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that was 2010 to 2012. I think we just moved into these parts at that time.
Yeah, it was 2010 or 12. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just roared through Slave Lake. Yeah, it just took it right out.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we've learned a lot, and so there's fire breaks and all that type of stuff that we've done, and so this year wasn't nearly as bad as the last couple.
Yeah, no, that's true. I've noticed that I've been inhaling a lot less smoke.
Actually, and it was quite freaky because at night, I mean, the fire has different dynamics day and night with pressure and all that kind of stuff, right?
Oh,
so
yeah,
we'd be driving around, and so we'd kind of just stop and we get deployed to this one section, and the chief would say, "Hey, we made a fire break, so just watch it." And so we're in the truck, just watching, and there's dirt. And there's a fire on the left-hand side. There's trees on the right. I'm just watching, and the ground is smoking because the root system is still alive.
Oh, yeah,
and
of
so we're
course.
just, what is going to happen now?
Is it? Yeah. Oh.
Kind of thing. So, yeah, we're just calling updates. He's like, yeah, just keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on it. So, yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting. Fire will travel underground, and fire
faster.
Yeah. Oh, very fast. And fire has actually been known to stay underground all winter.
Mm.
I've known guys who have gone back to a burn pile in the summer with their hoe.
Yeah.
In the spring.
Yeah.
Kick the dirt over, and then whoosh, they reintroduced oxygen.
I think last year, one of the first fires we did was actually just behind Johan's place.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep, just in the
I
back area
remember
there.
that.
Yeah, there was a pile that somebody burnt in the fall, and the fire just stayed smoldering on the ground all winter.
Yep.
And then as soon as the snow melted and the wind picked up,
That's crazy.
Yep.
Oh yeah. No, it's amazing. Like you think about it, that's 6 months.
Yeah.
That was under
stayed
snow,
there. Mm-hmm.
and it was still burning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fire is marvelous. It really is. Yeah.
So there's a couple more things I want to just quick touch on as we work our way through this podcast. So you're on a UCP board. You're the president of the Grand Prairie
Riding.
Mm-hmm. Then you're on a police commission board. Any other boards you're on?
Yeah, so
you're an active man.
well, your kids grow up and you got nothing to do. It's like, no, it's one of those things where someone says, "Hey, would you like to usher in a new police force?" And you kind of not say no.
Yeah, that's right.
And then so I was at a supper. I was having an event, having supper, and I sat across from this guy. I was chatting, and he's going to tell me a bunch of stuff. And so I told him a little about the police work and the finance, and then I spent about 10 years working with a Christian missionary organization years ago. So just shared about some of that stuff. And
so church work then.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. And he said, "Hey, you should join this board, this organization that I'm building right now." And it's to fight human trafficking. And he
that's right. Yes.
And he drops the names of these people. There's so and so and so and so and so and so. And it's like, guys, I'm looking at him like, I don't know why you'd ask me to be on with those people. Firstly, I've only heard these names in like reverence and awe. Like I don't know these people. I mean, like that. I'm like, dude, you know what? I'm not going to be on your board. I don't want the board chair, but I'll help you in whatever way I can. I just don't have time for a normal board seat, but I'll help you. So, so I come home and I said to my wife, "She's like, babe, do you know who Paul Brandt is?" And she has this look of like, "How do you not know who Paul Brandt is?"
Somebody wasn't listening.
I grew
to
up
country.
in Toronto and I knew who Paul Brandt was.
It's like, babe, I didn't grow up in this country, so yeah. So
That's right. Yeah.
Did not grow up listening to country music in the 90s.
Yeah, exactly, and stuff. And so I'm like, so that's that. So I so got to know Paul at that supper, I guess, and texting, and then he had a lot of stuff, and I love money and business and finance, and so I'm a bit of a startup guy, and so worked a lot with that, and then I think it was about 4 months into it, he sent me an email with a letter, and he seldom sends me an email with a letter addressed to me, so I opened it up and he passed the phone to my wife, and he said, "Dear Warren, thank you for accepting the role of board." and for the Alberta Center, blah 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 blah. I'm like, oh, you bugger.
You got me.
And then it must have had like a read receipt or something on that. So he calls me like 5 minutes later. It's like, so did you get my letter?
He knew what he was doing.
I got your letter, Paul.
Yes.
Yes, I'd be honored to help you. So
Excellent.
so the Alberta Center to End Trafficking in Persons.
Yes.
That's the group that I'm working with. I'm part of the finance. I hold the finance chair, I guess, on that board, and we're firing this sucker up, and it's a horrible issue that we're actually gaining some traction on, which is wonderful. And Paul's given the last 15, 20 years of his life to fight this scourge, and I think things are getting better.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I listened to him at the Alberta Christian Leadership Summit.
Yeah.
And I was very intrigued. Like there's lots of good work that's happening, but this is just another one of those areas where the man who takes on that job is very descriptive of the Proverbs 31 verse 1-9 man, where he's the king who speaks for those who can't speak for themselves.
Absolutely.
That's Proverbs 31 8-9.
Yeah.
So,
and Paul's been doing it for a while. So Jason Kenney created the first Alberta Anti-Human Trafficking Task Force.
Okay. I remember that.
Yeah. And so Paul was on that task force.
Okay.
And as was our chief, Dwayne Lacusta.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So we have tremendous
strong northern connections.
Absolutely, we have tremendous quality that's now serving in our community. It's phenomenal.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is a big problem.
It's bigger than you think.
Oh yes.
And did Paul give you any numbers at all? During this thing, which was more
I think he gave numbers, but I'm not remembering all the details.
Just for any of the listeners that don't know, so the average pimp makes $250,000 a year per person that they pimp out.
Wow. That's horrible.
Yeah, I think he did give those numbers.
Yeah, so there's so
It's
much
$250,000 off of one person.
One person per year.
It's a wicked, vile industry.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really is, and the aftermath of it is so prevalent. We're now uncovering how prevalent it is. I guess because we're taking the time to ask the questions, we're finding out, this actually originated way back when, and it's a funny concept. That's not funny, but it's a sad concept because you get these 25-year-old women that are strippers, and they go, well, she's an adult, she can do whatever she wants, and agreed, she can do whatever she wants. But somebody pulled her into that when she was 12.
Yes.
And so you shouldn't ask the 25-year-old. You should ask the 12-year-old, is this the life you wanted when you were 12? And that's the answer we should be working on.
And no 12-year-old is going to say yes.
Precisely, So that we're asking the question in the wrong framework. Yeah. And that's where we got to get to. We got to get to the right framework. And so the average age that a girl, 98% of them are girls. The average age that a girl is pulled into this, I think it's 14 in Alberta.
Wow, that's horrible.
One of the commissioners, one of the other police commissioners, is a school board trustee. And so I sat with her once and said, listen, I need to talk to you about two things. I need to talk to you about getting financial literacy in all the schools, and I need to talk to you about getting anti-human trafficking training in all the schools.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And she said, Warren, you let me know what you need, and I will make that happen. So it's phenomenal, right?
Yeah.
So I had to sit down with the last Grand Prairie Public School superintendent, and I said, these are the things that I want to accomplish in the schools. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to get a team of bankers and entrepreneurs that actually do the work that I'm doing in the schools right now. So it's not just one person. It's a group of people. There's so much free material out there. Like I don't have to write it, but I can just maybe usher in what I've been doing and just replicate it. And then for the schools, he was open to bringing it into the schools as well. So at that time, the head of curriculum for the Grand Prairie Public School Division was actually looking at Paul Brandt's Not in My City material. 2 phases. The first thing we need to do is need to educate all the teachers and the adults on how to receive a person that is making a claim. Mm-hmm. And then we actually talk to the kids about, okay, these are the signs that you are being trafficked or not. Mm-hmm. And
watch your friends.
Absolutely.
And protect your friends.
What's that?
Protect your friends.
Indeed. And there's a girl, I forget her name, but she talks quite openly about it. And she says, it's not like the movie Taken at all. It's my boyfriend, whom I adore. And basically this guy was, he wooed her, he courted her, and then they were boyfriend girlfriend, and then he'd disappear for 3 days, come back, and essentially cause drama between her and her family, or rather, enhance the drama between her and her family.
Yeah.
And because there's
always drama,
and they're specific about who they pick because they know the signs.
Yes.
Right? And so, like, if there's a strong parental influence, this kid's not gonna leech onto this sucker here. So they enhance the drama, make this girl think that this boy is her world, and then disappear for 8 days this time.
Oh.
Repeat the cycle, then come back. Like, they can disappear for 2 months, come back, and then next time they disappear for about 4 months, by which time they've caused so much division, this girl has no place to go to. Except for this guy. Her world has now changed. He comes back and says, hey, listen, could you do a sexual favor for my friend? I owe him money, or else he's going to kill me. Welcome to the world of prostitution and being trafficked. And she is one of 8 girls he's working at the same time.
Yep.
And this is the tragedy of pornography. It's not just about lust. It's about a lot of this kind of stuff happening in the background.
Absolutely.
Abuse.
It's programming the mind to what is acceptable, essentially, right?
It's the modern slave trade.
Yeah. It is, absolutely.
And slave trade of the worst kind, because they're selling bodies.
Yeah. So, and we've only talked about sexual trafficking right there, and the AC. So it focuses on 3 things right now. Sex trafficking is the first one. We're going to get into labor trafficking.
And that's also a thing happening.
And then we're going to get into organ trafficking. It's not as much, but
it's growing.
It really is.
Yeah. And don't take vacations in China.
What's that?
Don't go for a vacation in China.
Well, it's just funny. This Sam was on a podcast. He talked about how he went to, I think, someplace in the upper Middle East to get a hair transplant, and he found out 8 years later they took one of his kidneys while he was out.
Oh no!
Oh wow! His brother needed a kidney. He's like, and I was like, oh, I'll give him a kidney. He's like, oh, you only have one. And the only time he could think of was when he had gone for a hair transplant. They put him under.
Oh wow!
Took his kidney at the same time.
Yeah, I've heard stories about this.
Yeah, but it's So
wow.
But even the labor trafficking thing, I was chatting with Paul because somebody came to me as a police commissioner and said, hey, I know about this stuff that's going on. So I said, okay. It's funny. I called Jackie, and I think she was in the middle of a supermarket, and she's like, what? And I'm like, Jackie. Yeah, and she got so upset in the middle of the supermarket. She's like, Warren, have you talked? And like, I've called Dwayne. He's on it and stuff. It was quite funny. Yeah. She was so upset about it. It was amazing.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's good.
It was. So anyway, so I talked to Paul, and that's, hey man. So here's what's happening in Grand Prairie. Apparently, a lot of the people that are coming in for some of these jobs from third world countries, they're paying their employer $50,000 for the privilege of staying in the country and stuff. And Paul's like, 50,000.
Yes.
It's like, Warren, between Toronto and Vancouver, it's like 100,000. You guys are cheap. You're going to get busier. I'm like, oh, okay.
I remember hearing that number.
Yeah.
Just this last year.
Yeah.
About some of the fast food places in town.
Mm-hmm.
And I was
so
like,
it's a thing and it's happening, and lots of victims. But you finally sit down with one of these folks and you say, hey, we're going to try and get this back, and they're going, that's okay. I'd rather be here and pay the $50,000. Yeah, and versus going back to wherever and stuff. And like, okay, so it's a tough one.
Yeah,
it's wild.
Yeah, because
it does benefit the traffic.
Some of them get some of them do reap a benefit.
Yeah,
but the vast majority of them never get out of that indentured servitude. Essentially, is what it becomes. So
I mean, they're making minimum wage. They're doing low value work.
Unskilled labor.
Yeah, these are not doctors and lawyers we're talking about here.
Some of them are.
Yeah,
some of them are, but they can't get their licenses switched over.
Yeah,
and again,
they need to make a living in a foreign country.
Yeah, and so they become a cab driver. Yeah. So, and I think it's a good thing that we have to vet people's certifications. That is a good thing. And so there's a whole process there that can be made more efficient. Mm-hmm. But in general, we have all these people that are highly qualified doing unqualified work.
Yep. And they're being trafficked.
And they're being trafficked.
There's a bum making money off of them.
Yeah.
Who should not be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I remember hearing about that and being like, oh, that's why certain You know, I'm seeing
certain restaurants have 2 customers and 15 staff.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Whenever you see that,
yeah.
the business owner is not making money off of the customers.
Yeah, it's worth
That's
asking
good to
questions.
watch out for. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's certain places I just don't spend my money because I'm like,
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm pretty certain I know what's going on here.
Man, there was a quote unquote parlor that opened up in town, and there was rumors that there was some nefarious stuff going on. And so Kevin O'Toole, one of our city councilors, parked his car out there every free minute he got. He'd just park his car and just stare at the door, and eventually, and he'd call the police, say, hey, start patrolling as much as you can. So they increase their patrols, and he would just stand there and stare at all the people there, and they shut down, mate.
Good job,
Absolutely.
Kevin. Good job.
The power of staring is amazing. I've actually done that a couple times just with people doing weird activities.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not totally sure what they're doing, so I just stare.
Yeah.
And then they just kind of sheepishly scuttle off.
Yeah. Sometimes, yeah.
Yes. There's
Especially
something
if
about
it's right by my house.
there's something about the deeds of darkness, not appreciating the light of your eyes.
Exactly.
Yes. They're like, I don't want to be seen by
Yeah.
anyone. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's good. I think we've got passionate people that are in
That's
leadership in this town, and so I think it's good.
That's good. Yeah, so let's just spend the last 5 minutes. I think Christianity, our Christian faith, has underpinned this whole conversation.
Absolutely.
But maybe talk for the last 5 minutes a little bit about your faith, and then just give our listeners a pep talk on you can just do things.
Yeah, you don't have to be highly educated. Yeah, you don't have to be highly qualified. You can just ask God what He wants, and then and it was interesting when you asked me for a book reference. I mentioned earlier, I realized how little I actually read outside the functional things that I have to read and stuff. And
you're a busy man.
Well, and it's interesting because I actually went down this path of how much do we need to read as well. I mean, I read my Bible, I meditate on the Word, I pray and journal, and I just do stuff. Yeah, and is reading all the extra stuff adding value to the work that I'm doing for God's kids? I don't know. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But anyway,
reading the business stuff though matters. That's not inconsequential.
Agreed. Right. Agreed. But I guess overall, I think what I'd like to convey is you don't have to be well read to just start somewhere and do something, and you have to learn all the time. Yeah. In everything that you're doing, you have to learn because God will take you to different places. Oh yeah, tremendous. tremendous amounts of humility. Absolutely. So faith Christianity. I grew up Roman Catholic. I left the church when I was in college, university, because I asked a lot of questions and I didn't feel the people around me knew how to answer my questions. And ultimately, I started studying world religions. And growing up in the Middle East, I had a lot of friends that were Muslim and Hindu and stuff. And eventually, I found that God. Well, it's funny. I went to this quote unquote church. It was 8 people in the living room. Yeah. And the lady's like, hey, you should talk to the pastor. He used to be an atheist. I'm like, oh, perfect. I'm going to rip this guy to shreds. This is awesome because I know all the stuff, right?
Right,
and so we did. And so we had a few really heated conversations. And then he said, hey, Warren, you have some very good concerns. You should ask God about them. Man, that was the first time someone told me I could talk to God about stuff. Which blew my brain because it was always, talk to so-and-so who will talk to a saint, who will talk to Mary, who will talk to Jesus. You don't worry about that.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah.
Right? And so someone saying, go talk to God about stuff just blew my brain. I'm like, okay.
You can actually talk to him.
That was so surprising.
It's amazing.
So surprising, right? And so did that. So we're going to talk to a wall for like 10 minutes. I'm like, one of those, if you're here and if you're listening, I don't know who you are. You sound like a crazy person. I sound like a crazy person. I feel like a crazy person. But it was about 2 months after that I gave my life to the Lord.
Nice. Excellent.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah. And that was like 21 years old. And ever since then, just been so passionate about listening to what God has and trying to unravel all that He has and then doing. There was a time when I decided that I would wait on the Lord for stuff. And I found myself very ineffective.
Right.
Versus my personality just says, God, I'm just going to start doing. And if you don't want me to do it, you you just direct me.
Just close that.
Just
open
close that and go. But my personality needs to be moving, and I think God has used me in so many ways, and I've smacked several walls with my face, which has not been great. But I learned something all the way through, and God has used this simple fella to do some wonderful things.
That's excellent.
I'm looking forward to what the Lord has in the future and being able to serve in any way I can. Appreciate getting to know you guys as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, really good having this conversation with you as well.
This is awesome.
This was fun.
Yeah.
So anyway, I guess I'll close out now.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So thank you, Warren, for coming on. We really appreciate your wisdom and insight. And we are the Chinook Podcast. We called ourselves the Chinook Podcast because of the Chinook winds that blow off the Western Mountains. And we are praying for a work of the Holy Spirit, where the Spirit would blow through Western Canada, through Alberta, and thaw out this spiritually frozen and icy wasteland, and that many Christians would come alive, that many unbelievers would turn to Christ.
Maybe revive the coal that's been sitting under all that snow.
Yeah, there's coal there.
There you go.
That's right. Yes, there we go.
There we go.
So anyway, that's what Chinook Podcast is all about. So
fantastic.
Thank you so much, and have a good day.